The baobab that Org Exley obtained in Mosina appears on page 157 of my book, Growing South African Trees as Bonsai. This inspired my latest painting, A Baobab in Mosina. However, 470 kilometers south of Mosina, you will find the Pretoria Bonsai Kai. The Pretoria Bonsai Kai meets on the first Saturday of every month. And one of those meetings is a garden visit to one of our members. This year, 2025, we visited the garden of Fred and Erika Kohler. Erika is an incredibly well-known name in South African bonsai, and I, Nirma Flati, and fellow club member Johan Els will share this experience with you all. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, Johan, we're using my long thin arm as a selfie stick, but here we are just at Erika and Fred's house, and we are about to start. And I've never been here before, but I think that you've been here, so I think that you've got a better idea of what I'm in for.
Liam, I've been here a long while ago, but I definitely know what you're going to be in for, and without a doubt, you're in for a treat.
Johan, I remember the principal of my school was such a loved personality that all the children in the school used to run to his car when he arrived at the school and help him carry his bags. And we all used to escort him into his office. You know, we used to walk with him to his office. And I know when Tony, Erika and Fred arrive at the club, people normally run to the car to help them carry the trees in, you know.
It's true.
And yeah,
it's something similar. I now understand your story. Definitely, we run to assist them and to greet them. Yeah, they're awesome people.
And I remember the one time you were walking with this tree and we are setting up for a club meeting, and then I said to you, Johan, whose tree is that? And you said to me, Liam, whose tree do you think it is?
Yes, because you should have known it was Erika's tree. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be some of the most spectacular trees grown in South Africa and their origin here.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think something that can confirm that is that Erika won the South African Bonsai Association Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017.
Yes.
Well, let's let our viewers make up their own minds about the trees, and let's get to know Fred and Erika a little bit better.
Awesome. Hello everyone. We are so privileged to be with Erika Kohler and Fred, that's always busy in the background. It's early spring. Erika, thank you for having us and giving us that privilege of enjoying your favorite of favorites, which is our favorite, all of your bonsai. If I may, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you started with bonsai, your involvement in the different clubs that you belong to, and we'll take it from there.
When I was a child, my mother once got a second-hand magazine from the neighbors. And in that magazine, it had an article about bonsai. And I said to my mother, I want to do that some or other day. And I must have been 10 or 11.
Wow.
And my mother wasn't really into it. She said, those little, vertikte little boompies. That's the word she used. She said, they don't even grow properly. And I said, I'm going to do that. And that's that. And then we came to live in Roodepoort North. And then we went to a show from Shibui. And that was 1987. And I enrolled for the beginners class. And in those days, the beginners class stretched over 4 or 5 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
4 weeks. I enrolled for the beginners class, and I went through the beginners class, and I think the year afterwards, Darius, which is the head of Shibui, came to me and said, you must go to, Lady Brand. Because his father died, he would have gone, and I must go and do the presentation. Never done anything like that, so I grabbed a thorn tree or two, which I had in my backyard, and I took them to Lady Brand, and everybody was happy. But that was my very, very first demonstration. And then they just chucked me in at the deep end.
and you can swim for sure. For sure, for sure.
So that's was how I started. Uh, but you learn as you go. I'm still learning.
Definitely.
And I say to the younger ones now, that like tell them, you must get blisters on your hands, not on your bum, because they're
That's
sitting
true.
in front of the internet, and they look at these trees and wow, I'm going to make a tree like that. It doesn't happen like that. You have to start with simple material and grow into more and more material. You can't start with something like this. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And the different clubs that you belong to?
Shibui is my first club. I started 1988 there. And Pretoria, I missed being with Afrikaans people.
So we, as Pretoria Bonsai guys, very, very glad and privileged to share in your experience and your endeavors that you tackle, that you still teach us about. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So Erika, a difficult question. Do you have a specific or favorite bonsai species?
I think a Japanese maple. I don't have many of them. I only have one of them. But Japanese maples, whether they are bonsai or no bonsai, I love them.
Saw some of them in your garden when I was here many years ago.
Yes, and
you had
just
all different
Ort
types.
just air laid. You must have seen his bucky load yesterday.
I can believe that.
He took the air layers off, and people took cuttings, and you have it. I wanted to take some out this week, this spring, but it's already too late. You know, they must before the leaf starts out. So I'll have to wait.
Somewhere I read also that secondly you actually like some of these swampies as well.
Yeah, this swampy's got a special meaning to me. Past Northgate, there was a nursery. I don't know what the nursery was called, but in any case, this was lying outside the nursery in the ditch in a half a drum. And I said to, I came home, I drove there myself, and I came home and I said to Fred, well, I first went into the nursery, I said, is that tree for sale? Yeah, they say it's for sale. They still wanted to bring it into the nursery. I said, I'm paying for it now, I'll fetch it, I'm going home now, get my husband with a bucky, and then we come and get it. And we came, we got it. It was tall, taller than Fred. I've got photos with me next to this. In any case, then Richard and Craig saw it. No, but it's their tree, especially Richard. He was having it's their tree, they saw it first. I said, but I bought it first. Nobody told me it was your tree lying in the ditch. They saw it and they didn't buy it.
Yes.
So what's the point? They didn't want it that much.
Yes, definitely.
But when they saw it's becoming a tree, they really, Richard especially, he's hammering on, he wanted this tree. I said, no, mine. It has some root rot. It rotted out here.
Looks
And
natural.
I took it out and I broke one of those bits that you put on the die
drum,
grinder.
yeah.
The big one, I broke it on this as well.
Wow.
So hard it was inside there.
Wow.
So
Now I can understand your love for it and the whole story behind it.
yeah.
I actually heard it from Richard as well. So it does
His
correspond.
version.
I heard his version. I know your version. I know you longer than I know Richard.
He still tells me you stole it from me. I said, Richard, if you keep on that, people will think I did steal it from you.
You asked, we asked you to give us a couple of examples of trees that you really like and so forth. Can you tell us a little bit more about this specific species?
Yeah, it was a small pot plant that I bought at Lifestyle. Very small, about 15 centimeters tall. No trunk or anything. And I planted it on my stoop in a big pot. Not for any reason specific, I just wanted one because I like the flower.
Yes.
And when we moved to this place, I had to cart the pot and tree. And I thought, you know, this is heavy to cart, I'll take it out there. And that's when I discovered the trunk. So I said, oh, well, let's try it as bonsai. And that's the result.
And if I'm not wrong, you said usually it's a shrub or a creeper, sorry, a creeper.
It's actually a creeper.
And this is phenomenal. I mean, this is
the grow, yeah, just slip and grow.
Okay. And there was a story that you told us with regards to its flowers and when it was on exhibition.
Oh yes.
Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
we
that?
had it on. I had it on exhibition, and exhibition was October, and for some other reason, it flowered exactly that time, and it was just fresh. You know, the flowers wasn't dying yet, but wasn't all open yet.
Okay.
And in the evening, we sat there and we said, "What's going on here? What's going on here?" And I said nothing. And then somebody walked past and says, "This bloody plant."
So it's got a nice overpowering
Yeah, it's
fragrance.
got a beautiful smell, and I suspect it's because it attracts moths in the evening.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Erika. We're getting to your second tree, but before we get you to speak about it, I just need to say, I couldn't even recognize this. This is a Cotoneaster. It's the same as my street where I live in. And you don't get size of the base of this. Never mind the extremely small leaves that it's got. This is such an amazing tree that I was at a loss for words. And if honestly, I asked that it be part of what Erika's going to discuss. Erika, please tell us about your tree.
This is a small leaf Cotoneaster. You get another one also with a round leaf. But this small leaf, I got cuttings from somebody. I don't know anymore from where I got the cuttings. And I had a piece there on the land, on that side. Johan will know where it is.
Yes.
And I put those cuttings in the ground there and forgot about them. And then one year I went there and here was this big green all over the ground. And I thought, you know, I put those cuttings in here, but where are my cuttings? So I started lifting it up and it already started making more plants. And I started lifting this up and I got to this trunk.
Wow.
Unfortunately, part of the trunk died. And at the moment, it doesn't look that great because it's just waking up from winter.
Well, for those that don't know, I wouldn't mind a tree like that waking up from anything. Just to have a tree like this would be amazing.
I need to make some
Minor adjustments.
because it's very flat. So I want to separate some of these and get them on different levels.
Then in passing, I picked up some stones because I've got this inclination with my suseki, and I heard there's a story behind this one.
Yeah. We were in England and we were going to France, but before that we walked on the beach in Dover, and I saw this pebble there and I said, "This is mine," and I put it in my pocket, and it comes all the way from Dover.
So it's an international traveler.
Nobody asked me about it, why I've got a stone in my pocket.
Brilliant story.
It just came with me.
It's beautiful.
So, and I loved it. So I've got something from Dover.
Thank you. Erika, the third one also has special meaning. We're going to hear from Uncle Fred as well as to exactly where's the origin of the stones. Something I must mention beforehand is that this is such an example of a nice tree that either side can be the front, but that's my opinion. Please tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I first had only this tree, but it was much smaller. It was about the size of one of those.
Sure.
And I had it alone in just a plastic pot. And when it got thicker, I got some smaller trees somewhere. I think from nurseries or so, because I used to go from nursery to nursery.
Yes,
I
we
used
do
to know where all the nurseries are. So I got these smaller ones, which are also fattened up.
Yes, definitely.
And the group was planted sort of bit by bit. You know, okay, this tree will look nice with it. And now it goes to another nursery. Oh, this tree will now also fit in. And eventually I had a group together.
Yeah, you do. So Fred, where does the stones come from?
The stones come from, and I'm looking on the plate, next on the road between Willowmore and Aberdeen.
Okay, Erika, there was a couple of trees that I wanted to speak about. And then the one that I wanted to speak about was this lavender, Heteropaxis natalensis. At the time that I was putting my book together, you were the only one that I knew that had a show-ready one in a bonsai pot. And I know that you have my book, but in my book you will see that there isn't actually, yeah, it's a blank page. Hey?
Yeah.
And actually because this tree was supposed to be on that blank page.
You can take a photo and just paste it in there.
And I'm sure that everything happens for a reason, and it just didn't work out with the photographers and the timeline of the book, the deadline of the book. It just didn't work out. And perhaps if you like me and you believe that things happen for a reason, maybe the reason is that readers of the book will be able to enjoy the tree now in this video with us now. Erika, tell us a little bit about this tree.
This tree, I had to do a demonstration at Pretoria Bonsai Kai, and I didn't have anything, and I was driving around and I got to the botanical garden and I saw this tree there and I loved it for this beautiful white bark. It's still coming off.
Yeah.
And I loved it for this lovely bark it makes, and the roots wasn't too bad. So I purchased it, and it was tall, about your size, Fred? So I've cut the top off, but it's not doing too bad. It never gets very dense. I don't know if it's because it's cold here. It is a Natal tree, and yeah, it's been doing well.
What I love about them, you remember you were speaking about your gardenia that scent filled the room.
Yeah.
What I love about the lavender trees is that even if you just shake a branch, it emits the smell for which it's been named. And when you prune them, they smell amazing.
At the moment, yeah, I can smell it.
Everybody knows that my top picks are usually indigenous trees. But I couldn't help but to pick this. I remember when I met this tree with you, you'd exhibited this tree at the Suikerbos when the Leaves Leave Winter show. Was it last year's winter?
Yeah, it was bare.
And it was bare of leaves. And I was standing with you and we were looking at this tree and I was like, I couldn't identify it. I was like looking and I'm like, I'm at a loss here. I can't actually identify this. And you said to me, Liam, it's a hornbeam. And at that moment, I realized that this is the very first hornbeam I've ever seen in my life. Now, hornbeams are very popular species overseas. And you see them in lots of books and lots of footage. And you see the amazing results that you get with hornbeams. You always imagine to have one or to see one, and they're not popular in South Africa at all.
It's not a question of popularity. They were popular at one time. But that was long ago, and that was a stage where they did import all kinds of exotic trees.
Yes.
And the hornbeam was one of those.
The other thing that I wanted to quickly ask you, Erika, I'm quite aware that the Brenthurst collection has some of the trees in the Brenthurst collection you donated to them. And I wondered if you wanted to tell us about which trees did you donate to the Brenthurst collection?
I actually just donated a little white stinkwood. It's about 35 centimeters about this tall. And the other tree is the big olive but it was never mine. I looked after it for what, about 10 years or so.
Hy's nog 'n goed lyk van jou.
Oh yes, there is a big olive. It's about this size. It's one that I dug somewhere and I grew it in the garden here at the bottom.
At one club meeting, Erika, you told me a story that absolutely fascinated me, and you brought this big, fat, handsome Trident maple, and we were so intrigued with it. And I'd wonder, and I see that you've still got 3 from that story here, and I wondered if you wanted to tell us about that story, about how you went about developing these beautiful Trident maples.
Okay, I had a friend, she's passed now, and she had a house in Witpoortjie with a big Trident maple tree, and these little trees came up in a garden by the hundreds, and I said, I think I'm gonna plant them in shallow beds that the roots can spread. So Fred dug me beds, and I had this big this black commercial plastic and filled it up with ground and the plastic underneath. So I planted them there, and
How long did they grow in the ground for to develop these trunks?
about 5 years, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
5, 6 years.
Yeah, because these trunks and this nabari that was created here is absolutely incredible. The other tree that I wanted to speak about, the one time Johan helped you carry this olive just to come and visit, to show the car.
Pretoria.
And he was carrying this olive, and I said to him, Johan, whose tree is that? And he's like, whose do you think it is? And then obviously at that point we know it's your tree. And when it was on display on the stage, Yaku Creek, who is very well known for his very small leaf bird davy eyes,
Yeah.
called me over. He's like, Liam, come and have a look here. And he's like, look at this olive. It's got smaller leaves than my bird davy eyes. It's absolutely incredible. And you said with the Pretoria Bonsai Car visit yesterday, some people didn't even recognize it as being an olive. Some people were coming, what is this?
Yeah,
They didn't even recognize it. You want to quickly tell us a little bit about the history of that olive?
This tree is one that we dug out in Kucha.
There by Port Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think so. Where's Kucha? Around about there. And I dug this one out, and I dug half another tree out, which it didn't take. We just covered up again. It was too heavy. And this one I brought home, and I trimmed the roots, and I put it in the pot, this very same pot.
Yeah.
And it was grown since I dug it out.
Erika, it's been an absolutely wonderful morning to be here with you, and I've been anticipating my visit here with you very much. Johan and I couldn't make it for the club visit yesterday, but a report back to me was everybody enjoyed it and it was a highly successful day, and everybody's left here feeling very inspired by your collection, and I think anybody would feel that. I just wanted to thank you for the inspiration that you serve to us and all the knowledge that you pass on to us. And it's always just such a pleasure to see you at all these bonsai adventures that we find ourselves on. A bonsai adventure that is coming up in future that I would like everybody to know about is the Shibui exhibition. I'm going to insert an advert at this point, their flyer for the exhibition, and you're obviously going to be participating. And I asked you earlier and you said you weren't too sure what you're going to take yet, but you're going to take whatever's looking good, and I think that you've got a lot of options. But anybody that's planning to go to that exhibition is going to be in a treat to see whatever tree that you decide to take.
Yeah. Normally about a week beforehand or so, I sort of choose a couple of trees. You can't take too many because there must be space for other people too. And this year they have the Ikebana ladies also. So I don't know if that florium is big enough. We'll see. I don't mind bringing trees home again if there's too many trees. They never let me.